Welcome back. We've focused a lot on mental health issues for our children. How can we help them be strong through the rough times? Let's welcome Luke Marvin from Sandstone Psychology to the table. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here. This is fun.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Let's dive right into a little bit who you are and where your practice is.
Okay. So I'm a licensed psychologist, and I have a practice in Payson. I'm one of the owners of Sandstone. And kind of our mission is to reach rural and kind of underserved areas with mental health. So we have, all kinds of different services that we provide. Right now we have about 35 therapists that work with us and have offices in Payson, Salem. We're actually coming to Spanish Fork in October.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then have another office in Nephi. We're going to open in Fillmore, Cedar City, and Hyde Park area, kind of North Cache Valley.
Okay.
So we're kind of expanding and just trying to help underserved areas.
And we're considered rural and
Ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which surprises me a little bit, right? I feel like we've got everything,
Yeah,
but we're not.
we're still kind of
we're
on the
still
corner.
there.
We have
Yeah.
So what do you specialize in, or what have you come with us today about specifically?
Yeah, I personally specialize in working a lot with teens and young adults. I did my dissertation in social and emotional resilience and kind of helping that group. But in terms of our clinic, we do kind of everything,
Okay.
but my personal kind of population I work with is more geared towards that age group.
resilience. Let's dive into that. Why did you choose that?
Well, it's kind of a fun term, right? Like
Yeah.
resilience is something that, you put pressure on and it snaps back to its original shape. But kind of what they're finding in the research is that we can do more than that as humans. We can actually grow through our traumas, through our trials, through our difficulties, and that's what I love about therapy. Just being able to really help people understand where their pain comes from, and as they get more insight and heal through their pain, they're often very much stronger people with more skills, more intimacy, more opportunities in their life that they didn't have before those challenges. So,
So do you think resilience is a mental health issue?
I think resilience is a human condition issue.
Okay.
At least it's in our power to become more resilient.
Right.
And so I think therapy, meditation, mindfulness, other exercises can help us build more resilience to deal with pain better, but also have higher access to like a higher quality of life. So.
Okay.
So why are we struggling with resilience? Like, what are some of those issues that we're maybe not facing or facing that's challenging?
Well, I brought something to show
did?
you right here, actually.
Let's see it.
Here you go. You guys ever seen one of these before?
Why, yes, I have.
A few of them.
So I would say our mental health crisis, big time, is propelled by these little critters. And the reason why, resilience is when we can go through hardship and do better and better, like I mentioned, but we don't have to go through hardship when we have these at all.
Explain, expand.
If something's mildly irritating, I can grab this and swipe, scroll, tap, do whatever, and I'm kind of having a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of excitement. Not a lot, usually, sometimes it's chuckles.
Some escape.
But I definitely escape, I definitely avoid. And we've learned through psychotherapy research and philosophy, really, that when we avoid our pain, we suffer more. And so psychotherapy helps us face our pain in appropriate ways so we can grow more. And these little critters help us avoid our pain.
So
and
then
it's
we
very
keep
effective at
swiping
it.
and trying to find that high.
To your personalized algorithm.
Right.
I'm sure TikTok's got you all figured out.
I'm not on TikTok, but I'm sure they
Insta.
could figure
I bet you're on
me
Insta.
out soon.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Well, specifically to the teens. So, and going back to school, what can you maybe tell to maybe guidelines, I guess, for parents and teens going back to school? They've had these all summer long. So how can you pull away from those, or
Put it in check, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. How do we do that?
Well, I think a piece of that is helping them learn an old school thing called being bored. Something that
do
they
they
don't
even know how to do that
They
anymore?
don't. Not much. They don't. Not much anymore.
I don't think any of us, it's not just teens, right? I think we're
Yeah.
all searching for that level of excitement all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But I think kind of helping them cultivate a belief in themselves through sometimes those quiet, slow moments where they're, maybe they're figuring out how to do a Rubik's Cube or build a puzzle or what's it like to grow a garden? Have we forgotten about those
Build
skills?
a blanket fort.
You better believe it, yeah.
Maybe some things that take longer to get the gratification rather
Yes.
than the quick.
Kind of that delayed gratification,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Can we put a little or a lot of blame on parents for not just stepping in and giving guidelines or limits? Do you think they're saying, here, take it, without any guidelines?
Yeah, go
I mean,
ahead.
sometimes, I'll let the pediatricians and the child experts kind of answer
Okay.
that
Yeah.
a little bit more. But I think parents are doing their best,
Okay.
for sure. We're learning and growing too. I have 4 children from the ages of 9 to 5, and I'm constantly figuring out like, yeah, I don't think that worked too well. Maybe we need to try it this way, you know?
Okay.
The 1 hour of screen time rule sometimes isn't the rule, right? So
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like we don't even know what to do
Yeah.
with it. We were given it too, and we're just like, I feel like we didn't know we had the flip, and we were just like, oh, it was a way to
Yeah.
like contact. And now
Yeah.
it's just grown into a beast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some things that we can do to help initiate resilience?
I think, talking a lot with our children, making sure they have love, making sure they, we're very attuned to like when they feel shame or judgment. I think that helps a lot, just our relationship, keeping that very strong with them. And then I think as parents, we're kind of like emotion coaches. Things are hard. This is a weird globe we live on. And so when things get hard, we're not afraid of it, but we're going to slow down and really tune in here and connect and try to figure out a way to make the right choices despite our hardships. And so kind of coaching them along and not telling them necessarily always what to do, how to feel, what to think, what are your values, and helping them have courageous decisions they have to make sometimes. But
So you're saying that's a way to build resiliency in the kids, is having those tough conversations when they're having a bad day at school, or their friends made them, feel left out, or
and letting them struggle and figure it out sometimes.
because we kind of want to swoop in and
Oh, yeah.
save them. It's never fun to see someone we love in pain.
It's hard.
We
That's
feel like
hard.
we have all the answers because we've lived through it, but they haven't. And I think that's so hard. You want to keep them from the pain or the
Yeah.
hurt or fix it.
And that's what develops that grit or that resilience, that they go through hardship. In the research, they call a steeling effect, so like iron steel.
Okay.
But they go through fire a little bit and, tap into those resources. We're a resource, but ultimately they have to feel and make those decisions often on their own to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. But
How do you know sometimes, like, if you need a resource, or if you know maybe if your child doesn't have resilience? What are the
Yeah.
signs, maybe?
I would say, if you notice that they have a lot of avoiding behaviors, or they're very quick to give up on simple tasks, something that, hey, if you stuck with that for a few minutes, you could get there. But just, how quickly do they give up? Just kind of monitoring their own emotional regulation is pretty helpful.
At what point do you decide to come and meet with someone like you?
When it starts to impact life,
Okay.
you're struggling in school, you're struggling with relationships, you're having a hard time getting to the grocery store, whether it's anxiety, depression, sometimes just getting out of bed. And that's often what it shows in the DSM, which is a diagnostic manual for mental illness. But when it starts to affect 2 or more areas of life and they're reporting significant distress,
Okay.
definitely go talk to somebody. At least get screened, at least sit down, do an intake, do a few sessions, but
Okay.
it's kind of the guideline.
You also talked about that we live in an underserved area. Oftentimes there might even be a waiting list. Why is that? Or how do we best get on a waiting list?
Yeah, I mean, per capita, Utah struggles in general, and certainly when you get to more of our rural communities, the number of therapists per people who are needing therapy, we struggle with that. But yeah, I mean, to get on waiting lists is kind of a pain, and especially when it's imminent and you're in crisis, and there's
Yeah.
other resources that we have to help with crisis moments.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's, do your homework, try to call around, find good therapists that have similar values, similar things to what you're wanting at home. And sometimes you have to know somebody to get in a little bit.
I was just going to say, I think that sometimes I feel like therapy means we're broken, so we try and stay away from that aspect. I can fix my kid, they don't need to go there. But then also, who do I trust to fix them? And what does that look
Big
like?
ones
That's
parents
really
talk
hard.
about.
Yeah.
And as parents, I would encourage you to sit down with the therapist and work with them, with your child, and really get to know them and do systemic work. because it's not the child on an island. The system can heal them and help
Yeah.
them, and parents
Okay.
are the best resource.
Okay. So Sandstone therapy. for
Sandstone psychology.
And you were talking about different office locations. Do you also do Zoom, or
Yep.
is everything in person?
No, we do probably about 20% of our sessions through teletherapy.
Okay.
And we also serve autism populations. We do med management, kind of do everything, psych testing, group therapy. So,
Okay. So we can just
Yep.
Google Sandstone psychology, find your locations, contact, set up a time.
we'll be here to help.
I already feel calmer.
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Talking about resiliency, that's not a word that you just talk about every
Right.
day. So that
Yeah.
was a good reconnect.
Yeah. No,
Perfect.
it's been awesome to be here.
Thanks,
Thank
Lou.
you.
Thanks so much. There's more studio chatter coming up.